Hello and welcome back to the channel. As always, I'd like to thank those of you who've liked the videos and have subscribed to the channel. Thank you very much. I'll keep making the videos if you keep watching them. Also, a huge shout out to Rich at Eagle 6 Airsoft, and also to Steve, Dennis and Jeff, the Cheeky Scouser at Atherton Indoor Range, where I'm here today doing the follow-up video on the Tokyo Marui Sledgehammer AA-12, essentially 6mm rifle. Now, what do I think of this so far? I think it's awesome. In fairness, I really have enjoyed my time with this. There are a few kind of things I want to bring up regarding loading the magazine, the standard 96 round mag, and even with the 3000 round drum mag, there are things that you need to be mindful of, especially considering essentially feeding issues if you are planning to just hold that continuously. But overall, I'm loving this rifle. Just let me give you a quick kind of few standout points from my perspective, which I really thought was really good. Firstly, I'm just going to hand the camera to Steve, who's kindly with me. He's doing my filming today. So, the the battery compartment, just putting it in, it's just so simple. I love the fact that you just simply lift that up and off comes the rubberized butt. And over here, I've got, like I said, a 7-volt 2200 battery, and the only thing I'm mindful of is that, in fairness, you've got to consider the length of wire over here. So if you wanted to make adjustments, you can shorten that, and it's a mini timer, if I pronounce that correctly, link, but ultimately you can change that to a Dean's connector. I'll just put that back over here like that, and again it just slots back really nicely into place and locks into position. Simple, really simple. I like the fact that this mag release over here, to be fair, it's right-handed, it's not ambidextrous, so it favours me. Just a simple press of the button over here. I mean, we've got the sledgehammer mag over here attached, so if I just press this over here like that, the magazine just comes out really quickly along with a load of BBs. So let's just put that back in. Again, that's another thing I like, you know, the firm essentially sound that you get when you put the mag in, and then simple release, out it comes. So it does feed, have you noticed, a certain amount of BBs as soon as you put it in, so that as soon as you start, I'm just going to put it in from safe over here, actually into fire. It does straight away start, considering that there are, just again, I'll just put it into safe. We'll just have a look around the barrel. I don't know if you can see, if it's difficult to see, let's get it under the light very quickly. There, you can see it under the light very clearly. Just 1 second, there are 3 barrels to this, and that's why there are, over this side, which I've not yet adjusted and I want to do, is 3 hop-ups over here. So you've got the left, centre and the right, and again they're clearly marked again, which is really nice over here. And again, by adjusting these, you can widen or tighten the spread depending on where or how you're shooting or what you're playing, what kind of game you're playing. So from my perspective, I actually want to tighten the group rather than make it wider. So, and to push this back, again, what I found was just, you know, from reading or watching videos, I was going to say reading the instructions in Japanese, is that there isn't a simple button here to basically let the bolt go back, which is slightly disappointing. You actually have to use a bit of force and push it back yourself, which I don't particularly like. It would have been nice if there was something to basically let the bolt move forward. What else? I haven't adjusted the sights, but I'll tell you now, they're really high. Albeit relatively simple to adjust, the front, the rear and the fronts. One thing I'm not too fond of, if you notice, this does cause interference and noise, and the fact that it goes up. But having said that, if you are wanting to put a sling on this, I can see it being very useful considering its weight. And again, I'll pop that on the screen so you know how heavy it is. And also, what I wanted to do is try and get a comparison of how heavy it is with the drum mag, which is filled with 3000 BBs and 4 AAA batteries. So overall, once you've got all of that in the mix, there is weight to this thing. believe it or not. There was another point I wanted to raise in terms of something that I wasn't too fond of, is the trigger, believe it or not. So I don't know if you can see that there's a, I'll put it into the fire mode, there's a certain degree of play there with the trigger. You see that? It's not as instant as it could be. So there's quite a bit of travel there. So something to consider. But I don't know, I mean, I feel like overall, because I've wanted this for a while, I'm trying not to be biased. It's just great. The stippling, I must admit, when I'm holding this and shouldering it, like I said, it's aggressive, it's harsh. It's in fact, out of all the rifles I own, a combination of air rifles and BB, this is, look at that, I don't know if you can see that, I just literally ran my knuckles across it and it's just left a trail of what was skin there. So yeah, so that is really, it's quite harsh stippling. So if you do catch yourself, in fairness, you could end up taking off some skin with this. I'll talk about this attachment in a moment when I talk about the drum magazine. But what I wanted to do was very quickly show you the standard mag that comes with it. Now this is around 96 round mag. Most people use standard BB, essentially speed loaders. You can get different ones, you can get wind up ones as well, battery operated ones. Out of the box you get, which, you know, again, in fairness, you get a rod, a feed tube, which pops into place there, and a rod. So if you are thinking of getting into this, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I can show you now, actually. This holds 96 rounds, and it shoots 30 rounds a second. And we did a test earlier. It lasted just over 3 seconds. This entire mag, 3 seconds, with continuous fire, okay? So it shoots on average 30 rounds a second. I mean, to fill this up, Steve found this technique, and again, I've not looked online for this because I'm just bearing in mind, what you do is it's good to get like a batch of BBs in your hand, get the tube, because they don't drop out the bottom over here, you can just slowly get into this, again, he did it quite elegantly, this way of just feeding BBs like this into the tube until they just drop in, like that, rather than dropping them in one at a time. And then once you've done that, you take your magazine, notice them not coming out, and then you take your magazine, introduce your magazine to the tube, like that, and then you just simply use this rod over here and push them down, like that. And there you go. This is already full. Okay, so that's now full. Over here, I'll just put that back in there, put that back in there. If there's any loose BBs, no. I'm going to load this up and show you how quickly this goes on the target over there on the left. So, just bear with me. Here we go. I'll load this up like this. Nice. That's another thing I like, the guide rail on this. So, and here we go. It's good to go. So, this is going to last about 3 seconds. Okay, here we go. Hardly any time at all. So I'm just going to take this mag out. Don't get me wrong, it looks great. If you're planning on using this in short bursts, great. But with this particular rifle, you're going to want this, which is 3,000 round drum mag. So let me just quickly talk about this. Aesthetically, I know it's for show, but it surely does look the part. Okay, that's the first thing. I'm a sucker for this kind of thing, and I think it's cool. I really like it. Let me talk about what I found. First of all, to open it, you push down on this area. Bear with me. I've I've got to remember this, push down on there and then you rotate it, I think, clockwise. Bear with me 1 second. Again, having been new to this, and then you rotate it clockwise, there. And then the lid comes off, like this. Then what you do is you put your batteries here into this compartment, which slides up. So that whole compartment over here just slides up, like that, and tips over. And then you put your batteries here. Now, these are not the best batteries. I just basically had them to hand. They were new as of yesterday, so I just put them in. And to be fair, they're still cutting mustard, but I would definitely get rechargeables and use those instead. Pop that back down, get the drum, and then bearing in mind it was in this direction, just put it back into place by putting the drum back on. Now this is the thing, when you're obviously new to it and doing something on camera, you obviously make a fool of yourself, and I'm hoping that this is the right way. This one, bear with me. There we go, this is the right way. Right, and there was a nice click. As soon as you put the drum back on, rotate it. BBs go in here, like that, 3,000 of them in there. Now, I've got this little funnel that I made, this makeshift funnel, because look, I'm using a tub of these 0.2 Bulldogs. And there's 10,000 there, but obviously if you're going out on a game, you're gonna have a smaller bottle of BBs with a spout on the end. But ultimately, it's already got some BBs in it. I'm just going to top it up. There we go. So near the top here, I don't know if you can see that, close to threshold there. Maybe just get a few more in. And I'm not going to lie to you, I know it's 3,000 BBs. Oh, there we go. Give it a shake. There you go. I think that's full. Now this has got some weight to it. Close the lid. This has now got some weight. Okay. Next thing to do is feed some of these BBs into the actual rifle itself. Now to do that, there's a button on the back over here that you press, which activates the batteries in here, and activates the motor, the feeder here. So now that's automatically fed and they're ready to go. Now, just very quickly, what I want to say is that you can essentially get that upgraded at Eagle 6 to, I mentioned this in my previous video, to a remote on a wire, which allows you to attach it to or the remote to your pistol grip, so you can essentially feed BBs whenever you want. The alternative is you shoot, feed. Yesterday I found that when I was pressing that continuously and holding it, there was a jam, and I had to take the magazine out. And even when I was pressing this, because the BBs had maxed out, essentially the feed wasn't working, and there's nothing here to tell you that essentially that there is a jam or anything. It's just you have to basically, we took it out, I took the battery compartment out, changed the batteries over, and it's only when I reintroduced the drum back into the rifle that it carried on working again. So just something to be mindful of is that if you do get a jam, take it out, clear any BBs that are left in the barrel or ready to fire, reintroduce your magazine after doing a feed separately, and then you're good to go. So what we'll do is, wait for this. There's a target out there, that paper target. I want to destroy it, okay? And I know it's only close, but if you're in CQB, this is not too unrealistic in terms of, you know, taking this into the fray, so to speak. So again, this little device is useful. So what you had to do, it came with the magazine. You had to essentially take out this screw over here, and you then take your drum mag, introduce it, and then to make sure it's secure, you push that in place. Now, one thing I was kind of worried about was, is there going to be constant contact between this and the drum mag, so that potentially it's going to score the drum mag, but there isn't. There is slight clearance over there, So I don't know if you can see that. There is a very small amount of clearance between the two, okay? But it keeps it in place, so that way if you accidentally press the mag release, you're going to get that to catch it, okay? Just as a matter of interest, what happens if you do press the mag release? There you go. There, I've just done it now. And it's caught it, okay? So I'm just going to reintroduce the magazine. Okay, it's shooting time, as they say. I'm going to just basically just make sure, and here we go. Now, this is a little bit awkward to show you because that drum mag does get in the way, but here we go. See what happens if it does it again. I'm going to keep holding this to see what happens with the continuous feed whilst I'm also continuously firing. Okay, here we go. Kill the batteries because you can still hear it going, but it's not feeding anymore. So I think what I've done is, out of yesterday, because we did try this yesterday and today, the batteries are probably starting to be depleted. Let me just move that, or could be a pistol jam. There you go. So let's try removing the jam, as we said. Let's try seeing if it goes again. They are coming out. Let's try reintroducing the magazine and if it carries on shooting. No, it's definitely the batteries, which, fair enough. It kind of shows, in fairness, that this thing definitely needs some good batteries. But you can see what this thing's capable of at short range. Wish I had some more batteries, which I do. So off camera, I'm going to basically go away and have some more fun. But what do I think of this? I really, really enjoy it. I really love it, in fairness. I've always wanted to get AA-12. I've got one now. So from my perspective, thank you very much, Rich. I will be reviewing more airsoft on the channel. So again, mindful of all the other new content that is coming down the pipe. I know it's an ever evolving field, airsoft, but it's just one more thing that I'm really pleased about on the channel, because in addition to doing air rifles and air pistols and BB rifles, or should I say CO2 pistols and CO2 rifles, this is now something else I'm doing. So yeah, and also it just gives me another opportunity to shoot some different fun guns, which is what it's all about at the end of the day. So I think that brings me to the end of this review. If you've liked what you've seen, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you again for all your support, all your comments. I really, really appreciate it. Once again, thank you very much to Rich at Eagle 6 Airsoft, and also thank you very much to the team at Atherton Indoor Rangers, in particular Steve, who's filming here today. If you like what you've seen, again, please like and subscribe. I will be back soon Until then, take care. Thank you very much.